please support kara.
Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome back to another live stream today where we'll cover and look at a few things around Zoho in essence. I've been following the chatter around Zoho, Aratai, their social media application, and their whole platform in the SaaS world, right? And how they compete or provide a similar suite of products as to any other workspace product like Office 365 or even Google Workspace, which they are compared to. But all of their work has been based out of India, bootstrapped in parts of Chennai and India where they are providing these services from. So today, what we're going to do is going to look at Zoho and Aratai and see how they are powering the Indian SaaS revolution, and what things they are doing in order to build and explore, build at home, which is here in India, and scale globally with customers ranging across continents, both in Europe, Asia, as well as the North and South America region, which they cater to. What we will try to do is unlock and get to do a smaller deep dive and cover all of the details that I have been able to figure out from researching online with help from obviously Perplexity and other models, and build this presentation for you. Now, with that said, let's just start. As you can see, Zoho One is sort of their one suite where you can look at and have visibility towards all of their applications covered, but we'll come to that later down the road. But starting off with Zoho itself, why is it that Zoho matters now? What's something unique, or why has Zoho suddenly come into the limelight now? For beginners, if you're not aware of Zoho and this part of the world and the ecosystem, Zoho has been found, I think, in the early 2000s, before the dot-com bubble, where the founder Sridhar Vembu and one of his co-founders started AdventNet. We'll come to the timelines also down the road, but with the current narrative in the country around building applications and building for India, from India, and then looking global, examples like Zomato's and the other companies of your world, where they cater and build for India to begin with, but are now expanding towards multiple regions. Oyo, for example, is another one of those names that comes into mind. Zoho is another such name. We also know that Freshworks from Girish. He used to work at Zoho back in the day, and they did then transition into building Freshworks and then getting it IPO in the Wall Street stock exchange. But with that said, currently Zoho has come into the limelight after a lot of announcements or a lot of chatter within the GOI, the Government of India, announcing Zoho as their primary suite of work and sort of their workspace products, like documents, presentations, and all of those other things being rolled out and being adopted by the Government of India under a contract. And similarly, the platform Aratai, which is Zoho's version of WhatsApp for the Indian audience, and with abilities to store, manage, and have all of the data governance and meeting those requirements of living, storing the data within the Indian jurisdiction itself. With that said, that's how a lot of the talks around Aratai has been going on, and it being linked to being a Zoho product, and similarly how Zoho has been strategically positioned and has been working, or is like a dark horse in some ways, where they've built these SaaS products, which will come to later, with a widespread across categories, across functions, where they have multiple business apps for any business who is starting out. They have been bootstrapped since 1996, and their privacy by design approach. That's why Zoho has come now and is in a sweet spot with both its strategic positioning and the talk and chatter about their platform Aratai, which tries or is at least trying to replace Zoho's WhatsApp. Now there is a lack of traction and a lack of stickiness with the app, which will come to in the later slides as well. But with that said, if you look at the origins of Zoho, right, how it actually began as a networking platform called AdventNet, where Sridhar Vembu, the founder, as well as Tony Thomas, established AdventNet back in 1996. They primarily focused towards network management software. While they were, I think, they used to work in the in the Bay Area, and did work with platforms and systems like Cisco, Netscape, and others. But that's how it began back in the day. And in 2009, they rebranded or renamed AdventNet back into Zoho, and Zoho essentially then became an integrated SaaS suite, which had basically a replacement or an alternative to every prominent sheets, document, presentation, or any sort of Excel, for that matter, CRM. They had their own suite of platforms catering to each of these functions, and building their own workspace, similar to how Google Workspace is now. They are now currently in the 2020s. They are based primarily, and a lot of their research and development is based in India, and not necessarily in one of those tier 1 Indian cities, but they are mainly in the rural areas, so parts of Tamil Nadu, Chennai, where a lot of their R&D happens as well. The cool thing is, I did actually also interview for Zoho back in the day for a product management position, but it didn't pan out eventually because of other topics and concerns that I had with them. But with that all being said, Zoho has come a long way from their 1996 origins to their SaaS suite of platforms, and now expanding, growing towards a larger category, and also making breakthroughs with applications now like Aratai, which is essentially an indigenous or made in India sort of application, which is also backed by the government support that we have recently received, and the tech nationalist movement, where a lot of people have been requesting for an in-house social media app, so to say, where the data and even the development and the origins of the application are based in India, and can start to serve as the primary communications or communications app between people. And so that's the timeline of events as to how they started. Now, when it comes to their execution philosophy, right, as I said, they are bootstrapped to begin with. All of their R&D is not really based in those shiny offices in your tier 1 Gurugram, Delhi, Bangalore, or Hyderabad cities. They're based out of Chennai. Now, Chennai is also a tier 1, but a lot of their R&D is in rural parts of Tamil Nadu and Chennai. With that said, their execution philosophy has been to always think about the long term, and as even the founders have told, they're built for decades, not just focused on quarters. And that's one of their main reasons they still stay private and are not really a publicly listed company to this day. They don't, and all of their work and revenue and work has been bootstrapped from when it comes to venture capital or any sort of capital in order to run the organization. So they have the bootstrap independence. They are profitable, I would also assume, and they have complete ownership and have control over how they want to take the company ahead, and what their thinking is, because with that only, and because of their bootstrap nature, is the reason why they have the freedom to invest, research, and build in work on these R&D items, and build such vast catalog of applications, while also being like $1 billion plus revenue company. And a lot of their hiring, they have various programs where they have their own campuses and schools where they teach people from the rural areas technology, and then they also get hired within the Zoho Corp to deliver and work on projects. And that's how they have been able to, is one of the ways, keep their cost down, but also invest a lot on their research and development and building these applications. And the other thing is their privacy first design, and given based out of India, they have I think they are also allowed and have to firstly anyways abide to the Indian laws when it comes to data protection and data laws. But essentially being built in India and having all of its data centers and all of their data also living within India helps at least in the narrative setting. Now I don't know how true that is, but at least they have an approach, or always considered to be a privacy focused and privacy first design organization, similar to the likes of Zerodha, for example. Similar where Zerodha, for example, does not track their users, what do they do, and sort of keep a track of their activities and so on. As similar is the case with Zoho, where they have privacy in mind from day one, where and it also helps them set apart and positions them uniquely where they are against the US surveillance capitalism and those efforts. With that said, Zoho One is their business operating system. They have, I think this image shows 40 plus, but I think they are 50 or 55 plus individual applications that they build, provide, and support for various use cases. Sales and marketing, they have their own CRM, they have a campaigns platform, they have a sales IQ platform for sales intelligence and all sort of data enrichment capabilities for helping customer journey management. When it comes to productivity suite, they have an alternative to your Office 365 or even Google Workspace, where they have their own writing sheets, show even their own Zoho Mail, for example, Zoho Work Drive, which is a direct replacement or a competitor to Google Drive. They have Click, which is essentially ends up being a full Google Workspace alternative with tighter integration. So if you prefer to build to have something, not prefer Google Workspace or even Office 365, will also come down to the numbers and how they charge, and they are significantly cheaper when you look at Zoho in comparison to your Google Workspace or even Office 365, and that's where they position them uniquely today. The other thing is, if it comes to finance and operations, they have Zoho Books to manage all of your accounting information. They have Zoho Inventory, expenses, and even Zoho Invoice for end-to-end financial and transaction management for your organization. They also have HR and support, where they offer Zoho People as your HR desk. They have Recruit for recruitment services. They have Desk and Assist. So essentially, entire complete employee management lifecycle and customer service management is all taken care through their suite of applications available within Zoho. So it caters to a lot of use cases, and will come to the place and how they position themselves uniquely in comparison to Google and the other workspaces and work suites. But this is essentially Zoho One, which is a catalog of SaaS applications for every sort of use case of an organization. So if you are an organization starting up, you can start with one of their products, let's say Zoho Mail. Start with Zoho Productivity Suite, which includes Writer, Sheets, your Drive, and then operationalize it even to your other departments of accounting, finance, HR, sales, and marketing. So that essentially is Zoho One. Now, with that said, as you can see within this image, Zoho Booking is for appointment schedule. Think of it as an alternative to Calendly or cal.com, or even Google Calendar now has, or even Zoom, for example. Zoho Survey for surveys, Zoho Forms, an alternative to Google Forms, Zoho Writer for instead of Word or Google Docs, Zoho Projects for project management, Help Desk, Sales IQ, Expense, Showtime, and Zoho Mail. So these are the suite of products that they offer, that are available for you to take a look at and enroll. And similarly, you have all these other functions that they also cater to, which includes communication platforms like Zoho Click, Zoho Meetings, Zoho Connect, Zoho Learn for learning, as well as marketing, sales, legal, and even business processes, as well as business intelligence and analytics platform, which are direct competitors to Power BI and even Google Analytics or Google Data Looker, for example. With that said, how do they integrate, right? How is their business flow generally? So they're looking at the workflow and the timeline of events. They first try to attract with Zoho campaign sales IQ, which helps you capture leads. You can also convert customers using their own platforms, where the CRM essentially is your place to store, maintain, and manage pipelines and the life cycle of deals. You also have Zoho Transact, where you can use Zoho Books, for example, to generate invoices, process payments, and manage accounting and keep track of all of your transactions. They have a large support suite of applications with Zoho Desk and other applications in terms of managing tickets, assisting customers, managing those life cycles, and as well as building knowledge bases for your customers to refer to, right? They also have as under the expand category Zoho Analytics, which helps you manage and get the details around the entire life cycle of these processes, these deals, and the platform itself that you're managing through Zoho suite of products through their analytics capabilities, both on the platform side as well as on the business side, with regards to the pipelines, the revenue generated, and the upsell opportunities, and so on and so forth. With that said, they have over 55 applications now, which service all of these categories and business centers or departments within your organization, and almost 2000 plus marketplace extensions. So they are thorough, they have a lot of depth, as you can see, with their applications and the marketplace, with the integrations that they offer. And Aratai being one of their newcomers, which essentially is a foray into the D2C space, or essentially direct to consumers, where they have built Aratai, which is in the social media spectrum space, where it is a direct alternative to WhatsApp or even Telegram for that matter. Firstly, it is built in India. That's one of their key selling points, or at least that's how it is being sold, that they are based out of India, built completely within India, where all of your data stays here, right? And none of it is being tracked against you to sell and put ads on top of, which WhatsApp has become lately. And with that said, a lot of their strengths are, I think they are very lightweight. It's very easy to use. I've done a walkthrough of them and have used the platform. The learning curve is not that hard, and it's pretty simple if you already have and use WhatsApp regularly, which almost all of us do. It's pretty similar. Now it's not a one-to-one replica itself, but it has very neat features where you can schedule calendars, schedule meetings even for that, and you have chats, you have groups that you can discover like Telegram. There are some limitations though. Even though they promote and talk about built in India, when it comes to security and privacy, the chats are not end-to-end encrypted like WhatsApp. They have limited network effect, because not a lot of your contacts might be on RTI, and you would have to probably invite all of them, transfer all of your groups from one platform to the other, which is not easy, and it's not done in a day's time or overnight, so to say, right? So there are certainly, even I have run into that, where I don't have a lot of my contacts and a lot of my close friends on RTI, which, because I'm just experimenting and looking at, they do have groups and other programs and groups that I can join and channels that I can look at, but necessarily that's not the only motive when you download a platform like this. It's also to talk to your near and dear ones, right? So there are certainly early adopter challenges, which I would have liked to have features where I could transfer my chats over, and I could invite people more seamlessly, or have some uh, initiatives within the platform which rewards me to onboard multiple customers and multiple of my friends onto the platform and earn rewards like any of your UPI platforms these days do, right? And feature parity is still developing. Now I wouldn't say that, like I said, the privacy concerns around end-to-end encryption are still there, but I think it's sort of 50 to 8, I mean more than 50%, it's almost 80% there in terms of feature parity, but there are still some features you might see missing when compared to WhatsApp. But with that said, that's about RTI. And if I look at their website as well, speak like nobody's listening, which is good. I think it's more, again, a secure and privacy focused messaging that they have gone for. But as you know, it still does not have end-to-end encryption, which I think would be a great add-on for in also in terms of feature parity and also to get people onboarded. And if you see the interface, it's pretty similar to WhatsApp. Once you start using it, you have chats, you have calendars, you have calls, you have statuses as well, where you can push and add statuses as well, and it's a new look and feel within the application as well. With that said, right, so that's Aratai, which is one of the newcomers and has been making a lot of rounds in social media, especially if you're on X or Twitter, actively in the startup ecosystem. But let's come back to their core businesses, right, which is a suite of products that they offer. When it comes to comparing between Zoho and the Google Workspace, I have this table on the right hand side where you can see Zoho is significantly cheaper, right? And if you have an organization with hundreds of employees, it will cost you very substantially less. When per user license is $6 in Google Workspace Business Standard, whereas Zoho Workspace is probably $3 or even $1 per user per month, and which significantly reduces the cost. So if that's your one of your considerations, that's pretty good. In terms of breadth, they have almost an alternative to every other Google Workspace or Office 365 application. Now they might not be as clean or as polished as all of them, which is definitely what I have also experienced in some of their apps when it comes to Zoho Support or Zoho Desk, and which I have used previously. And Zoho Mail also is pretty cool, but I've not reviewed it thoroughly to have an opinion. And it's modular, it has a flexible deployment, both, I mean, primarily SaaS. I think you can also do a private instance version of it. Whereas Google's advantage is it's a seamless interface. All you need to do is sign up as a startup and get onboarded. It's probably similar here, but as you scale, you run into challenges. That's what I've heard in terms of even support, right? Where the number of integrations is valid. All of the top applications have integrations, and the ecosystem is large. There are a lot of third-party tools and has better documentation and faster support cycles in general that I have seen. One of the bigger concerns that I have seen also online has been around support and the clunkiness that the platform with Zoho has when it turns at a certain scale. But that's one of my observations as well. Zoho, so the verdict here is that Zoho offers functional parity, has occasional clunkiness, its integration exists, and the learning curve is a little bit steeper at the price point. But for budget conscious users, and if you're privacy focused, the trade-offs are worthwhile for the time being. And I would expect, as time progresses, as these apps mature and more customers get onboarded, a significant chunk of their R&D and manpower is also invested into support, because the after sales experience has to be as good as the sales purchase decision and life cycle is what I prefer to have, right? And probably even better after sales purchase and after sales support experience. But that's between Zoho and Google Workspace. One of their other subsidiaries or other divisions that Zoho has is called ManageEngine, which is primarily focused towards their enterprise IT powerhouse, which has essentially mostly towards your workplace infrastructure, workplace management sort of tools, which are also in terms of employee onboarding, single sign-on, platforms for endpoint security, IAM, and enterprise endpoint IT infrastructure management, as well as all of those tools. So that's is another division of ManageEngine, which is focused towards your IT operations, cybersecurity, as well as service management. So if you clearly look at the services that they offer, they have Active Directory Management, IGA platforms, PAM, SSO, endpoint, as well as IT management and cloud solutions for enterprises, which is a wide range of platforms and products to offer. Now, in my experience working in the cybersecurity space, I've heard about ManageEngine, but I think the audience that they cater to is small to medium businesses primarily. I have not seen large deployments into like Fortune 500 organizations. Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to be corrected here, but that's what I understand to be the case. where they do offer services around IAM, endpoint management, multiple options around IT analytics, and SIM, SOAR, and other password management, and even IT management capabilities. But they have a wide array, but catered primarily towards SMBs. So that's another division, and another 50 odd 60 odd applications and options that they have on the IT management landscape. So in essence, if you get under the Zoho umbrella, you can get started with simple Zoho productivity suite, Google, and Zoho's sales, as well as accounting, as well as support suites later on. To and essentially Zoho then manages your entire organization and can power your entire organization with all of their suite of products. And also their IT management services through ManageEngine can also significantly cater to the IT management and cybersecurity and IT operations side of things as well. But what we have seen through our research is, yes, they do have all of these suite of products and parity among the industry giants who also offer these capabilities, and the fact that they have an aggressive pricing model which offers competitive pricing, like we saw in the case of comparing between Google's workspace pricing as well as Zoho. But what we have seen is similar is the case here, where there is configuration requirements, support quality is a little lacky, and at some point there are still clunkiness and other privacy policy concerns, which I think is a regular theme that I have seen, at least from what I have heard online, from people using ManageEngine and Zoho product suite overall, which I think is good feedback to have and improve upon, uh, given all of their support and research activity and R&D could also be probably shifted and allowed through here, where there are significant testing and management and scale cycles that runs into such applications to remove any hassles or clunkiness for customers. Now, with that said, if you are in the market looking at Zoho and other workspace products for your organization, go for Zoho's. If you go for Zoho, if you are an SMB, you have privacy sensitive deployments, right? You have Indian sovereignty advocates or requirements to host all of your data, which I think, given everyone is selling globally, shouldn't be a very big concern. But is a good to know that they have uh, support from the Indian sovereignty advocates, and is being advocated and being talked about being an built in India product and IT admins. And you don't have to, and you are not in the market to look at 50 products or purchase different products for each, and then having to figure out how they work with each other, and all of those review cycles, and just want to get to one place where you get the whole suite of products. Now, yes, the pricing is also very competitive, which can also be a very valid reason for you to look at Zoho, and the fact that everything is available to you at one place, while you are able to give away with the fact that there might be some operational or scalability or support challenges that you might have to live through here and there. But if you are in the market for something that is polished, is mature, right, in essence, has good number of integrations, then go to Google and the Google Workspace, or even Office 365 that suits your needs better. Try Aratai if you are interested in the landscape of social media and communications platform like WhatsApp, and how Aratai is an Indian version or an alternative to WhatsApp being built here in India, and and support the innovation that's being taken care here as they scale. Now, we've heard a lot of replies and responses from Zoho and the Zoho team directly over at X and Twitter about the efforts in terms of scaling the infrastructure, building new features, and bringing them to feature parity are being actively taken upon. But I would like to see more effort on the network effect, where more and more people organically start adopting RTI, and it becomes an ecosystem of its own, which today is lacking. And the ManageEngine is again a division within Zoho, which allows you to provide IT operations software and IT operations suite of products all in under one single umbrella of the Zoho division called ManageEngine, with again aggressive pricing, but with the fact that you might have to deal with some complexity in terms of onboarding and adopting to their products. But once that's said, I would assume it's smooth sailing from there on, right? And that's how Zoho is positioned. And also from one of the notes that I heard, patient execution isn't just the philosophy. They take step by step, or they are a little I would not say slow, but they are not a first mover or the first one to build something in the space, but they for the most part build something which is focused and orients around their philosophy, which is built for the longer term, and is a suite of products that they offer for their customers, where they become their one-stop destination for all things of for all of their departments in the organization. So with that said, that's our analysis about Zoho, Aratai, ManageEngine, which are essentially products from the Zoho organization itself. We looked at their history and their backstory, and how I would also recommend people to look at this example and this article, where how the founders and the brother of Sridhar Vembu, essentially Kumar Vembu, essentially talks about how patient execution builds aggressive capital, and how over these so many years and decades they have built Zoho as a bootstrapped independent organization with a focus on R&D, building everything in-house, cultivating and enriching the local talent based in rural parts of India, where a significant chunk of their R&D is, and how they have been able to compete and build softwares from India for the world. So I would highly encourage people to look at this article. I'll link that in the description of this video for you to also look at and do your own research and understand and learn about Zoho as a platform and what they do. With that said, I think that's all for today, where we covered everything from Zoho, their backstory, their suite of products, what do they offer, what are the pros, cons, comparing them with other market leaders in the segment, as well as how you can take and decide for the platform to choose between Zoho and any other platform of your choice for your organization. So with that said, I think that's all for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow and probably in our next live stream. Till then, thank you. Have a great day. Bye.